Got my green lights behind me because I got my green peas. This is obviously not a pea. My pea is stuck on my car. Hey guys, it's Caitlin and welcome back to my channel. So today's video is all about me getting my license and what that experience is like. As of recording this, I got my license yesterday and I really would have loved a video from someone like around my age or 18 because yes, I'm actually 21. You can go for your license at 18, but I was late to it. But anyway, I would have liked a video from someone who had just done their test, so it was really fresh off their minds what the experience was like and everything. Because when I searched up videos, all I saw for Victoria P plates at least was stuff from like instructors, which is really full on and kind of overwhelming, and I wanted just to hear someone's experience and was it that bad? So hopefully this video is helpful to you guys. So I know this video is kind of a long one, so I'm going to put some timestamps in the comments down below if you want to skip ahead. Totally won't be offended, but let's just get straight into it. And just really quickly for anyone who's not from Victoria and is kind of just curious, so here if you're 18 you can go for your red P plate, and after 1 year your red P plates will automatically turn green if like you haven't obviously lost your license or anything. Then you're on your green Ps for 3 years, and to go for your red Ps you need 120 hours. Once you're over 21, if you go for your license like I did, you go straight to your green Ps. You don't need 120 hours of driving experience, and there are less restrictions on a green P plate than they are on a red P plate. Basic summary. Sorry about my dogs, but I'm sure if you're someone going for your license you kind of know all this already. So my experience, literally did it yesterday, so it's still pretty fresh. Kind of was a little bit of a blur because I was so stressed. I don't even know where to start. I guess my driving background, I only got my learner's permit at 18, which here you can get at 16, so it's pretty slow to that. I don't know why it took me so long, and then it took me a little while to actually start driving. And then one time I nearly drove into like a pond. I turned the wrong way and then accelerated instead of braked and only stopped at the last second, or I would have ended up in a pond. So that put me off driving for quite a while. And then at the beginning of last year, it's like late January, early Feb I think, I started having lessons with an instructor. I actually took my first couple of lessons with my friend Carla. We would do 45 minutes each and then swap because we were both super nervous. She got her license in September of last year, so she was also a lot faster. So, you know, we started together but we got there at our own pace. Once you're over 21 and you don't have to do 120 hours, it really depends on person to person how long it's going to take you. So you started with an instructor, which I found super helpful. They've got brakes and an accelerator and a little mirror in their own car, so if anything goes wrong they can control it, except the wheel obviously, but they can just reach over and grab that. So that made it a lot easier to be comfortable in the car, especially because, you know, when I went into the pond she could have just braked straight away. Well, I didn't go in the pond, I almost went in the pond. Do you get what I'm saying? You get what I'm saying? So I went with her every fortnight until maybe November of last year, which I know can really add up. So that's like a personal thing, but I would say get one at the start for a few lessons to get you started. Get one right at the end to make sure you're ready for your test and correct any mistakes, and then also you're used to them for your test. And if you feel like you need one halfway through to see how you're going, do that too. The reason I went every fortnight was because I didn't need 120 hours, so I didn't know when I would be ready. I could go for it whenever, so it was nice to have a professional there who knew what they were doing, who could guide me and tell me when that was. And then once it got to about November, December, we started talking about my test, so I started doing weekly lessons to really get prepared for it. So that is my sort of driving history. I ended up with about 88 hours by the time my test came around, so that was all done in about a year. Coming up to my test, I felt pretty confident in my driving. Sometimes I still found lane changes a little bit tricky. Sometimes I couldn't tell if someone was letting me in to do a lane change or if it was just a gap there. And like trying to work out when to wave at people to be polite, I don't know. I'll just wave at everyone. I'm gonna be nice to everyone. And also I would overthink it and I would like turn the wheel the wrong way when I was reversing. You'd notice straight away before you even moved. But I would do that a lot too. See, I wasn't like 100% with everything about my test, but you gotta remember they're gonna be stricter on the test than you will be in your own driving. If it takes you 6 maneuvers rather than 5 to get the park in your own life, that doesn't really matter if it takes you a little bit longer. But on the test they give you a certain amount of maneuvers to do your park. You still obviously want all the safety things and blah blah blah, but stuff like that, like, it's a little bit looser. So yeah, my test was booked in about a month prior, so it does take a little bit to get in. And I went at 1:10 p.m, so it was fairly quiet, which was fantastic. Like, I would have been so stressed going through a school zone. So if you can try to get some time between, like, I guess 10 to like 2 p.m, or no, even earlier probably, because school zone starts at like 2:30, I think. I should really know that now that I'm a driver, but there are signs there to tell me. You gotta read your signs. But yeah, try to go like middle of the day, and there'll be less traffic on a weekday if you can. So that test, that's what we're all here for, right? I went for a drive with my dad the night before my test, and I was like a mess. I kept messing up just basic parks that I've done like a billion times before. I was crying. He already had a bad day, so that didn't help, but it was just really bad. And then that night, I think about 12:30 in the morning, I legit had a panic attack. Like chest pains, crying, hyperventilating, shaking. Like, I was just a mess. I could not calm down. It took me ages to calm down. I was just so nervous. So the day of the test, like I said, 1:10 p.m, and I had a little driving lesson booked in for 12 p.m. prior, and would go straight to the test from that, which I feel like is standard, but if not, you should definitely do, because it really helped. Anyway, back to the beginning of my day. I had to leave at 12, so I got up at 10, so I would have plenty of time to get ready, relax, do my normal routine, watch some YouTube, make sure I was all calm. And I was probably calm until just after 11, and then the nerves started to come back. It wasn't as bad as the night before, but I just felt like sick in my stomach, and just like shaky, and just really like flustered, sort of flappy, like just running around my house, not sure what to do with myself. I will actually insert some video of me waiting for my instructor to pick me up, so you can see exactly what I was thinking and feeling. So roll the clip. It is literally 11:58 right now. Yeah, I am crapping my pants. Okay, I'm back, not for my test. It's just 12:04. It's only been a few minutes, but my instructor, I guess, is running late, and normally I would not mind at all. I always run late, but because I'm so anxious, this is just making me even more anxious. I'm literally just kind of like walking around in the lounge room doing laps because I don't know what to do. Yeah, I'm just looking out the window. I'm not even looking at the camera. I'm sorry, but I'm just looking at all the cars going past because it's so soon, and I need every minute I can get in the car. So yeah, that was me literally like 5 minutes before I had to leave. So as you can see, it's not full on pulling my eyes out, so I had to calm down a little bit, but I definitely was nervous. And then for our drive prior, we just kind of went over everything once, did like a parallel park, did a 3-point turn, did some lane changes, just kind of did all the basic things. She went through again where everything in her car is, because that's something in the test. You need to know where like the wipers, the demister, blah 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 all are. And my drive was not the best. I went a little bit over roundabout, maybe. Neither of us were sure if I did it, but it definitely didn't feel right, but it wasn't obvious, so we were like, but I might have done that. I kept getting all my lefts and rights confused, and sometimes I was just like a bit too hesitant. I messed up my first parallel park that we practiced. My second parallel park, I did like perfect. No, I'm just kidding. But I kind of tried to have the mindset of it's better to mess up now than on the test, and all these mistakes will be fresh in my mind. I tried to think of it as this is a reminder of what not to do. Get it out of my system now. Which I think really helped. And then we have finally arrived at the actual test portion. Yay! It only took 7 years. So you drive in and just park anywhere you can in Vic Roads. Try to get a testing bay if you can, so it's already locked down for you, but if not, that's fine. And then you and your instructor go in, you get your number, you get called up to the bench, and while you're talking to the tester, the instructor will generally go and either move your car into the testing bays, or if you've driven in, just have it so it's reversed in so you can drive right out, because everyone drives right out. You don't have to reverse out in the start of your test. At least I didn't see anyone doing that, and my instructor just did that for me, and that was no problems at all. So she was doing that, and I was just being run through everything by the tester, who fortunately was so nice. So it's just like checking my details and then just running down the basics of the test. I don't know if everyone has to do this, or it was just because I was wearing contacts. I normally wear glasses, but she made me read the vision thing. And then there's a spot where you can ask questions. So I asked, and it was completely fine. I said, can my instructor repeat the instructions to me, please? Because I'm really nervous, and that was fine. And I also said, can she do like left and right for me, please? Because I just kept messing it up on my practice test because I'm quite nervous. And it's fine to say you're nervous as well. And she said that was fine as well. So then we go out to the car, And this first part I messed up so bad because I was so nervous. I did it fine with my instructor prior, but then I just messed it up here. So they will stand behind the car and then move around to the front, and they'll call out things like show your wipers with the water spray. I've blanked on what that's called. Point out your demisters, turn on your left indicator, right indicator, lights, high beams. Is that all of it? Handbrake, you have to just point at. Hazard lights, that's another one. So they just kind of run you through that to make sure you know where all the controls are. And I was just so flustered that I would like flick the indicator the wrong way or turn on the wrong wipers and stuff. I think they could see that I was just flicking it the wrong way, and I knew where the things were. So that was like no problems. They didn't say anything to me about that at the end of the test. Then you get in, and my instructor was so nice. She was just like, think of it like I'm your friend and you're just driving me home and I'm just giving you the directions. And I was still so nervous at this point. My heart was racing and like I had little watery eyes. I don't think they noticed. And then off we went, and it was testing time. So the first part of the test takes about 10 minutes, and they want you to do either a parallel park or a 3-point turn. In Victoria, at least, the parallel park is way more common. I got the 3-point turn, and I was actually super relieved because the 3-point turn is just that little bit easier. But yeah, this first part is pretty easy. So it's just getting you to the area that you're going to do your parallel park or 3-point turn, and there was no like stop signs or anything. I think I might have done like one lane change, but it was like super easy. There were no other cars around, and it was more just to get us to where we were going. And they don't tell you what they want you to do until you actually get to like the street they want you to do it on. I don't know about parallel park because I didn't do it, but for 3-point turn they just say perform a 3-point turn where safe. So I got to choose the driveway I wanted to go into. We were going around a curved street, so the first driveway was on a bend and I just wasn't comfortable with that. And then the second one, thankfully, was a double driveway. So with the 3-point turn on your test, you are allowed to go in a double driveway, which makes it even easier. So you can literally go in the center of the double driveway. Then you don't have to worry about going over the curb and onto the grass. And of course you want to be checking constantly while you're doing this, looking out the back window, a couple of head checks, checking your mirrors. You want to be doing like all the things without the whole test. Even just driving to do my 3-point turn, you got to constantly be checking, and you want to make it look like you're checking. You'll feel like a bobblehead, but trust me, that's what you need to do. But yeah, did my 3-point turn, and I believe you get 5 maneuvers for a 3-point turn, so it gives you a couple of extra to adjust because the 3-point turn is meant to have 3, but you get a couple more. And the same with the parallel park. I'm sorry, I can't remember off the top of my head exactly how many maneuvers are allowed, and I actually tried googling it. I couldn't find anything, but my instructor had told me that there's like a couple extra maneuvers. There's enough to get you in to your park, and there's like a couple extra if you need to like go back and go forward and adjust, like if you've come on an angle. So you do have a little bit of wiggle room. You don't have to smash it out perfectly on the first go, and also you don't need to rush it. Either one that you're doing, just take your time, use your extra maneuvers if you have to, but try and keep track in your head. And if you have an instructor, they'll be able to tell you exactly how many it is for the parallel park. Normally at this point they pull you over and calculate your points and tell you if you can go on to stage 2, but I guess I did decent enough that we just continued, and the tester just said, okay, we're just gonna jump straight into stage 2. So I was kind of like, oh my god, like, okay, that's a good sign, right? I was still super nervous though. I mean, that helped a little bit, knowing that I did the first part all right, but it didn't take away all the nerves. Like, I would try and just say yep to acknowledge her instructions, and sometimes my voice would just like close up and it'd be like, yeah, and it was really bad. I could like barely speak. And the second stage is where you do like the stop signs, and you do like the roads where it kind of curves, and it may look like going straight is going straight, but you've actually got to indicate to go straight because the natural course of the road is a curve. Lane changes, stop signs, and then just kind of driving around some main roads, some side streets, roundabouts, giveaways, all that sort of thing that you just get on the road. And also school zones as well, and through some construction, but I don't know if the construction part is everywhere. My area has a lot of construction. I know there are a few other areas in Victoria that are just full of construction at the moment, but with those areas that have construction or school zones, you can't speed at all. Like, you have to be under the limit by the time you reach the sign. What I did was I tried to sit about 5 k's under the speed limit at all times, so then if I accidentally sped up a little bit, I still wasn't speeding. I believe you can go about 8 k's under, and then after that it's considered a bit dangerous because you're going quite slow. So try to stay between like 3 to 8 k's under the speed limit. I believe you have a few seconds to correct less than 5 k's over the speed limit, but that doesn't apply to school or construction zones. You have to be under the limit it's in another area and you go over by like a K for just like 2 seconds, you'll lose points, but it's not the end of the world. So yeah, just get in the habit of keeping your speed back. It doesn't matter what anyone else around you is doing. I know I get stressed out when I see a whole bunch of cars behind me, or when tons of cars are passing me in the next lane, especially in construction, because everyone will just speed and do whatever the old speed was. Especially if there's no work being done, people will be like, they're not working, I don't need to do the roadwork speed. But you always have to do it. Doesn't matter if there's no roadworks actually happening. If the sign's there, you do it. And there were some areas that my tester would actually tell me the speed. This, I think, is because she said she took me off the course, off the general routes that they do, which I'm not sure why she did. But it was just areas like I'd come out of, say, a shopping area, which you have to drive quite slow through those car parks. And then I would have to be on a road for like 20 meters before going into a construction zone, and there was no sign for that 20 meters. She would sometimes just tell me the speed, which is really helpful, and I really appreciated that. She did say she likes to help all her people as much as she can within the restrictions of what she's allowed to do. But if your tester doesn't do that, just stick at 50. My instructor and my tester were kind of talking about this at the end of my test. Like, you can even say to your tester, I haven't seen the speed sign, so I'm driving at 50. 50 is like the standard, and they may correct you, they may not say anything, and you just have to look out for a sign, but it's better to be under than over. And don't try to guess based on other cars. And then, like I said before, constantly be checking everything. You might just look up with your eyes like that to your review mirror. It just looks weird, but like tilt your head up so they can see. Really like tilt for the side mirrors. Do some head checks every time you like cross into a lane or like you turn or whatever. Make sure you're doing the whole thing, because a lot of people like will fail on their mirrors. And what else? With lane changes, I was really worried that I would just instinctively be like, they've told me an instruction, I've got to do it, and then I would do it and it wouldn't be the wisest time to. So again, like with the park or the 3-point turn, take your time. If they say do a lane change, you can let a car pass you if you need to. Like, don't feel like, oh, they've said lane change, I've got to do it right now. Like, just wait until it's safe. That is the most important thing, waiting until it's safe. And also, if you either miss an instruction or you get your left and right wrong, don't stress, it's fine. You're not getting tested on your left or right. They will just help you get back on the course. They will like give you another instruction. So don't feel like, oh, they said go right and I've gone left, I need to quickly jump into the right lane. Like, don't, just stay in the left until they tell you otherwise. If you get the instruction wrong, it's better to get the instruction wrong than speed, for example, or do a risky lane change. So don't even stress about it. So that was something I was, like I said, I was really worried about, but I didn't actually get any of my left and right wrong. I think I really got it out of my system before the test. Another thing, quick thing to mention, is keep both hands on the wheel. When you're at a stoplight, keep your eye on the actual stoplight. Don't just be looking around like, oh, there's a dog going past or whatever. Keep your eye on the stoplight. When you go through an intersection, always just do a quick glance to make sure there's no idiots doing like runs through the red. That's a weird way of saying it, but you get what I mean. And when you're at stop signs, my instructor would always tell me, just focus on coming up to the stop sign, and then once you've stopped, then check if you're good to go. Don't be checking while you're approaching it, because you might just accidentally naturally follow through, but you have to come to a stop. So if you don't look at if you can go, then you're just going to stop anyway and then look. I hope that made sense. So yeah, there's some things to really be mindful of. And for this part of the test, it actually went really quickly. Like, I know it only takes about 20 minutes, but it felt faster than 20 minutes, but it just went so quick. Like, once I could tell that we were heading back to Vic Roads, I was kind of thinking like, seriously, like no way are we done. It cannot be that fast. Sorry if things moved a little bit, my camera battery died. I didn't look at the time at all, which I think did help. I think I glanced at the time once halfway through, but I had no idea what time exactly we left, so I had no idea where I was in my test. So that's really helpful. Don't look at the time. Plus, if you look at the time right when you've started, then you're going to be glancing at the time a lot, and you don't want to be doing that. You want to be focused on the road. But I don't know why else it went fast. It just did. And I was someone who, like I said, I was in hysterics the night before, and then towards the end of the test I was just like, is that it? Like, really? So going back to Vic Roads, you get asked to park where safe, and you get the choice of park here. And what my instructor told me is, if there are no spots that you feel comfortable in, then you can say, I would prefer not to park there, and it tends to be fine. I mean, I don't know, maybe you'll get some evil instructor, but like, this isn't really part of your test unless you like jump the curb or crash into a car or something. You can take a few extra maneuvers, you can go in and out if you need. You just need to park safely. That's it. Doesn't matter if you drive in or reverse in, you just gotta park. So I was lucky, I got a spot on my right that I could just drive in, so I didn't have to like swing out into the other side of the traffic thing. You get what I mean? I'm saying you get what I mean a lot, so I really hope you do. So then you pull up and that's it. And they don't tell you in the car whether or not you've passed. They will tell you inside Vic Roads, which sucks because you've got to walk in and wait for them to get behind the desk, and then you have to find out. Although my instructor congratulated me as soon as we got out of the car, so I knew I'd got it. So you go into Vic Roads and you go up to the counter and they'll tell you congratulations, you passed. And I got told that I did a really good drive, and the only thing I got told was to be mindful of my speed when going downhill. But she didn't say I actually sped, she just said to be mindful of it. I think I got maybe quite close, like right on the limit, which, you know, Vic Roads wants you to be a little bit under the limit. I didn't get my actual score, which I really wish I asked for, but I was just like, oh my god, it's over. Like, I couldn't even think to ask that, so I wish I did get my score. Surprisingly, I did fine with my mirrors. I feel like so many people get told mirrors, like check your mirrors more, but I didn't get that because I was a bobblehead. So being a bobblehead works, trust. So they give you a piece of paper and they tell you all that stuff, and then you go back and wait and then get called up to pay for it and do your photo, and they give you a piece of paper that you carry around until your license comes in the mail, which I will show you. First, staple your receipt onto it. For my actual license, it cost $80.80. So I'm just going to cover up my address and a license number. I'm doing this so awkward. Whoopsies. This is just what you have to have until your card comes in the mail. So you carry your learner's permit because that has your face on it and ID, and you carry this, and it says like all the stuff your license would say. Any conditions you have. For me, I had sight, date of birth, when your license expires, license number, address, all that kind of stuff. And then the back of it just has like all random information, like what all the different condition letters mean, what to do if you change your address, all that kind of information. So yeah, that's what that is. Haven't really read it actually, but whatevs. But I mean, yeah, that is the whole rundown of getting my license. I just felt like a weight was lifted off my shoulder after I did it, and yeah, it was just such a relief to have it done. So yeah, that's about it for getting my license. I will talk about driving on my own for the first time really briefly. I've driven on my own 3 times now because I did my test just over 24 hours ago. I was passed at about 2 o'clock. It was all been done about 2 o'clock, and it is now about 4 o'clock the next day. So it's been like 26 hours. And I sleep a lot. So I've only driven by myself 3 times, just local places I know. But I wasn't nervous at all to drive on my own. Prior to my test, I'm like, oh my god, I don't want to fail, but then if I pass, I'm on my own and there won't be someone there. But once you're on your own, you've got to make the decisions. You might not think you might be able to because you're so used to having someone there to ask and reassure you, but I just did it. All that practice really helped. I was in the car and I'm like, no joke, I'm sitting there out loud going, I'm doing it, I'm doing it, I'm doing it. Like, I was hyping myself up. I was so thrilled. I mean, I think I'm going to be nervous every time I go somewhere new on my own. That's just how it's going to be. Like, if I'm going somewhere new, I'm going to pick the time that I'm going to go. Like, I'm not going to go somewhere new in peak hour. If I can go on a weekday rather than a weekend, I'll try to do that until I get comfortable in the new areas. But soon it'll all come to me and I'll be able to go somewhere new. No big deal. But starting local, picking good times to drive has been really good for me so far. Like I said, from my first drive, I was fine. I knew where I was going. It was quiet on the streets. Easy peasy. I mean, who knows? I mean, I've only driven, I think I've driven 5 times. No, I've driven 6 times. Half with my boyfriend in the car, half on my own. So who knows what I know about driving on my own at this point. It's just my fresh experience. Fresh and funky. What am I saying? I mean, I don't know. I just hope this helps. I hope just hearing a rundown of someone who just did it, doesn't know all the exact technical things, and isn't some expert, and is just a person who like 3 days ago was in your position about to go for their license. I just hope that makes it a bit helpful and a bit less daunting. I don't know. I haven't tried to be helpful before on YouTube. That sounds so bad, but I mean, it's true. But I don't know, I just wanted to share my experience. It was a big thing for me. I still vividly remember how I felt prior. So I hope you got something helpful out of it. If you are going for your test soon, good luck. Trust me, you'll be fine. Just remember to breathe, because if you pass out, then you're in trouble. Good luck paying for petrol, because that just keeps going up. That's the fun part of driving. Luckily, I haven't had to fill up yet. I am dreading the day. And yeah, I don't know what else to say. I just hope I helped. Hope this was interesting for anyone who maybe doesn't know how the Victoria test works, if you're watching this from somewhere else. And I would love to hear from you in the comments below if you've done your test. Let me know how you went. Did this video help at all? Did you find it accurate to your experience or completely different? Let us know your experience down below to help everyone out. If you're going for it, you want to vent some nerves, go ahead, get it all out of your system, or you just want to say hey or whatever, everything's welcome. We all love it in the comments below. You can give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it as well. Make sure you subscribe down below for more videos from me. And hit the bell notification so you're notified as soon as I upload them. And that's about everything I have to say. So for any learners watching, good luck, and to everyone else, and also my learners, just to everyone, I hope you all have a great day or night or whatever it is for you, and I will see you in my next video. Bye guys.